What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Southwest Fishing. So today I just want to go over 6 simple baits for the post spawn. The post spawn is a great time to fish, whether you're in a canal, a pond, a river, a lake, fishing from the bank, or whether you're in a boat or a kayak or wherever. Doesn't matter what you're fishing, how you're fishing, or what you're fishing for. These techniques are going to help you catch more fish, primarily for the largemouth bass. But I mean, you'll still catch different varieties of fish on all these lures. Doesn't matter, it could be a bluegill, it could be crappies, it could be bass, catfish, carp, etc. But let's get started, and we'll start off with the most popular one right here. So obviously, the most popular bait probably ever in the history of fishing is the spinnerbait. Is an excellent bait because it looks like a bunch of little shad swimming through the water, or if you just have a Colorado blade, it kicks up a lot of vibration in the water and it can attract that reaction bite. They don't like that vibration sound, so they'll turn and they'll just hit it off a reaction. But when you have the willow leaf blades on there, it creates a lot of flash, and that can also create a reaction strike, but it primarily looks like a little bait ball. So super simple, super basic, and this is a Gary Semp spinnerbait. This is a 3/8 ounce spinnerbait. I picked it up over at Phoenix Fishing. You guys can order them online, you guys can email Gary Semp, or you could go over to Phoenix Fishing and pick them up yourself. He makes them all the way down to a 1/16 size, and this is a tungsten weight, really thin wiring, so it's a lot more subtle, a lot more finesse. I like to pair it up with just a basic little Cabela's, like 3.3 inch little swim bait. It looks perfect, it matches up perfect in the water, and with the little tiny willow leaf blades going through the water, looks perfect. Looks just like a little shad ball. I've caught a lot of fish on this in the ponds and canals and lakes, especially bank fishing, obviously. Granted, I do now have the boat, but I still primarily fish from the bank. And for the second bait of choice, works everywhere. I mean, this bait, obviously everybody knows, is the weightless Wacky rig. This sucker slays fish. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in a canal, a lake, a pond, a river. You will catch fish. All you need is a simple hook, little size 1 circle hook with some Gary Yamamoto's, Strike King. You don't need to get Gary Yamamoto's. Strike King works just as well and super cheap over at Walmart. It's like $2.19 for a bag of little plastics. I just like the Gary Yamamoto's because they have good action and they sink a little bit quicker. The Strike King, they don't sink as quick because they don't have as much salt in them. But the one good thing about those Strike Kings, they last a lot longer because they don't have salt. These tear up very, very quick. The Strike King, you could catch like 10 fish on one worm before it finally gives out. But I mean, you could whack some fish on these freaking baits, and all you need is a little tiny simple hook just like that. Nothing special. Super fun technique. And all you do is just, you cast it out, you flip it, let it sink, and just do a couple twitches. You'll feel a little tap, and then set the hook right away because the fish is going to start swimming off with it. And you want to make sure that you get a good hook penetration so that you can get that fish in. The next one, pretty subtle, pretty finesse as well, but everybody knows, the Zoom Super Fluke. This is a baby bass imitation. Looks excellent in any sort of pond. I primarily use the flukes in all the ponds and canals around the Phoenix metropolitan area, and these things slay fish. I mean, I can't tell you guys how many fish I catch on flukes. Just like a jerkbait, it's just super finesse. More subtle, falls very slow in the water column, then do 1, 2, and then let it fall again, and then 1, 2, 3. And typically, when it's on that pause and then you go to jerk it, that's when you get hit. Sometimes you'll just get hit while it's falling, wherever you want it to sink before you start twitching. A lot of times when you cast it out there, it's just falling steadily in the water column. And the fish just sees it as a dying bait fish. So they'll just engulf it, you set the hook, and it's a ball. A lot of times you'll just see the bait swimming off on its own too. So definitely try the Zoom Super Fluke. And again, super cheap. It's like $2 for a pack of them over at Walmart, and I like to use typically a size 3 to size 4 EWG. I like the extra wide gap because it gives it a better hook penetration. I do not have an extra wide gap on this, unfortunately, because I am all out, so I have to go buy some more. But make sure you guys get the extra wide gap. You'll have a lot better hook sets and you won't lose as many fish. Everybody knows this one as well. The perfect little lipless crank. You want to try to match a hatch best that you can, and this perfect shad imitation matches a hatch pretty much just about anywhere you go. Overall, just this basic shad pattern works really, really well. There's multiple ways where you guys can work this. You can work it anywhere in the water column. If the fish are chasing bait, you can work it on top, you can work it mid column, you can even let it sink to the bottom and just slow roll it. You'll catch a lot of fish. Fish, they go into a feed bag mode right after the spawn. Early summer, they're hidden so many lipless cranks, so many moving baits, top water. It's insane. It's super fun. This is one of the best times of year to go out and catch fish because it's actually relatively easy. It's not like winter. It's not like dead heat summer. It's fairly easy. You cast a lure out there and you typically can catch at least a fish or two and definitely get a few bites. So definitely check out the Strike King lipless crankbait. You can also use any size of them. I mean, the Ozark Trail, the Walmart brand, they're like little tiny, they're like 1.5 inches. You guys can pick those up. Those work. I've caught a lot of fish on those, especially in the canal. You don't need a whole lot of vibration, especially in the canal, because those fish only see tilapia. That's primarily what those fish see. So I mean, wherever you're fishing, these are gonna work, but I mean, you could get away with those Ozark Trail ones and catch a lot of fish on them as well. The next, the Buzzbait. The Buzzbait is one of my favorite go-to baits, and I typically like the sexy shad and also just straight black when it comes to the skirt. I typically like the straight black because that contrast in the water when the fish are looking up, because they're always looking up because they don't have eyelids. So on a bluebird sky like today, they see that black contrast, super easy for them to dial in and just go up and hammer it. And it's perfect because, I mean, you could just hear that now. So imagine that on top of the water, being a fish, how annoying that must be. Plus it just overall to them probably sounds like bait fish being chased right up top. So they're gonna go and check it out. And when they go and check it out, it could be exciting. One recommendation, trailer hook. Please get a trailer hook. That's one thing that I don't use very often. I just don't buy them, and I regret a lot of times not having a trailer hook. I miss a lot of fish. But when you have a trailer hook, you're always gonna catch those fish, because even if they short bite, they're gonna get that back end hook right around here, and then you'll be able to hook them and you'll be able to get them in all the time. Last but not least, super simple as well, Gary Yamamoto jig. These suckers slay the bass. You just want to flip them up right up on point. You can flip these in some pretty heavy duty structure, and let me tell you, when you get thumped on this, typically it's a pretty good quality fish. Either you're gonna get thumped and you're gonna be like, holy crap, and you gotta wind up, set the hook on that fish, or you're just gonna see your bait swimming off into the middle of the lake or pond or river, wherever you're fishing. It's super exciting fishing with these, because you can flip these up in any sort of sticks. You can flip them in reeds. You can just cast them right up on rocky ledges and just work your way down, fish them off points. You can fish these in boats, on the shore, it doesn't matter. These just overall catch fish. It's on a basic football head, so it's always standing up like this on the bottom, and these pinchers are sticking up in the water column just like that. And with the water column, especially if there's some current, it's kicking these tails. So they're kind of kicking up, creating a little bit of vibration on their own, a little bit of water disturbance, and that gets the fish's attention as well. Plus, when you're just hopping it along the bottom, the fish, they have to check it out. Sometimes you may get a short strike, but the majority of the time, they're gonna engulf it because it's actually a relatively small bait. It's only altogether about 4 inches, so even those small bass, they're gonna be able to get a hold of them. So definitely check out these 6 baits. I hope it helped you guys out. I know that you guys want to see me fish with these baits, so the next video is going to be me fishing with some of these baits, and I'll show you guys how to catch fish on every single one of these. And I hope it helped out, and I am so grateful for every single one of you guys. We just hit 2,000 subs, and I never thought I'd hit 2,000 subs within a year. It's insane. So thank you all for the growth. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, bell notification. We'll see you guys next time on Southwest Fishing.